Hi folks, guess where we are?
Pierson Workholding. Welcome back, John.
We're back. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Likewise, thanks.
It is awesome to be back. You know, it wasn't all that long ago that we filmed the first video, card here, where we talked about what is, a lean workflow. And I'm not joking. It's been, Grimms, when I talk about this, it's been actually instrumental in me rethinking the workflow, how I run the business. It's kind of got me fired back up about certain entrepreneurial things. And also the comment that really stood out for me in the last video was the sort of stress level on an annual basis, and that when you tackle that on a daily basis. And Jay and I were talking about, if I'm back, what do we want to film? And I just had this idea of, let's follow a product.
That sounds good to me. Awesome. We're ready to go.
Awesome.
So let me start off. This is what starts the process. So this is a Kanban card like we demonstrated last time for our MPS base. We have been selling these. We got down to the minimum quantity, 8. Okay. And we need to reorder 30. Now everything we need here to get the ball started is there. The location of where they go, where this Kanban is located. Who are the vendors? IMS, Coast, EMJ, those are our metal suppliers. So we need to get quotes from them, purchase, usually same day.
You get 3 quotes on each time you go to rebid it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, on price and delivery. So some branches like Industrial Metals has multiple branches, they need to bring it in, so there's a day delay. Yep. Usually it's not an issue, but if we're pushing stuff through, we need like next day delivery, which is typical.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the notes of what are we ordering? 6061, 2" by 6". We always order 2 bars. Down here, 2 bars equals 30 pieces. Yep. And then cut size. So this triggers everything in the process going. And so that wasn't sitting there as a prep for this video. That literally is anybody can pull that out of the stock room or inventory room, and then get set here. Got it. Whoever's doing purchasing will get a stack of these. So these are all the things that came in just over the past few days. So got it. From there, we want to update the board behind us. And since you're last here, we changed the boards. We have 2 more to break it out because we're running out of room. Wow. So we have our assembly board. It made sense that it's on this wall so we can look into the inventory room. Yep. And then those are all the things there. Awesome. And these are just, do you make these? Or we did, yeah. You make them, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Okay. And then we have our pallet systems. Today we're going to be making the MPS base. And so we're already on Op 2. It's been running for a day so far. Okay. And then we're going to continue on. And we're trying to get this pin moving through. So a couple days ago when I came in, I noticed that this was on low stock. Yep. I had the Kanban card on my desk. After I did it, material ordered, gets here, we're sawing, prepping, we're working through this. So that's kind of the progression. This is awesome. And so folks, if you don't know, John Grimms and I started a podcast a while back called The Business of Machining, and we talk about stuff like this. I know John just had the chance to work with Jay on creating this system for the Norseman and the Rask knives, and they're using it to get stuff out of your head, get it on the paper visual. And I'm laughing because John had some dilemma about adding another column because he's like, well, Jay, it's been solved, but it hasn't been prepped or something, or something, I don't know what it was. And Jay was like, well, just put the marker on the middle line. Yeah, exactly. So we keep an eye out for markers that are on middle lines because that tells you that it is in progress, and we need to address those because they're kind of in limbo. Yeah, so for these are typically components that require multiple ops. So you have 1, 2, and 3. All our SmartBack stuff, we now make everything in only 2 ops. So we eliminated a box. We don't need an op 3. So the other thing, we added a column since last time, continual improvement, bonus stock. I don't like to call it overstock because we don't overproduce. Yeah. Bonus stock is something that we can, maybe we did a bunch of op 1 and we're like, hey, we need to set up the machine for something else. Let's go and do that and put everything, whatever it was, maybe it was still in op 1, let's put it in bonus stock so we can come right back instead of starting the process. I see. Okay, so you may stop it here and then you just jump back in. Right. Because I remember the last time we were here, your Doosan lathe was running, I think, Venturi's, and you said we make like 6 months worth because it's so low, it's not that much material, money, or space tied up in inventory, so you might as well. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, they come off finished, but if there were a part where it did have a second op, there's no second op in that lathe, finished parts come off it, but we could do maybe 200, and then the last 100, let's just put them in bonus stock, come back, finish those 200 just to get product out the door. So, and of course our rotary vise shared, because some of our, I try and share components between product. That's cool. So we'll do that, and then other little things. Is there like actually, it's funny because I take for granted that I know this stuff, but MPS I think is your new one. Right. You guys have the Rotovise, you have your pallet systems, and you have your vacuums. Is there a way to quickly show those 3? Yeah, we sure could. Yeah. So let's head in here. So, okay, so these are all the different bases of our vacuum systems.
Yep.
9.5 by 14,
Yep.
1320, 13 square.
I think I have the 13.
You do. You have the 1320.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great for. It's a little bit big for the 1100, but I actually like it because I'm able to. It's never been problematically big.
Correct.
And then we use it on the HAAS now too.
Yeah. Nice.
And I actually don't even take my vices off. I just set this in between my orange vices
even better.
on top, and then I don't have to. It's so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our best seller, the 1320 and now the 1824. We came out with this one. I don't know if you showed this last time, but yeah, we do QR codes for assembly, so we can just walk up, smartphone, snap that really quick, and we'll see an assembly. And now your viewers can try and snap that, and then they'll learn how to assemble it. So.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
That goes to a YouTube video that they'll be able to see?
Yeah, it's an unlisted one. Yeah.
You don't care?
Nah.
That's hilarious, folks. A little life hack if you want to watch Jay's assembly video. That's cool.
It's an Easter egg.
Yes, Easter egg. Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then this is our newest product, the Mini Pallet. Mini Pallet System. So that's all bagged up, and we will make one of those later.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then our main pallet system will be down here. So like we don't obviously want to machine assemble a lot of them just for them to sit here, so we're down to one. We do need to assemble 2 more because the minimum is 2. So there's those days where we'll sell 2 or 3 in one order, and it's like it's a little bit of hustle, but we'll get it out same day.
Yeah, that bothers me. That's too lean to me.
Yeah, well, it's based on historical sales. So
that doesn't lie.
If historical sales, if we're selling like 4 a week, okay, well, we just need to know that we have to have 4.
Got it.
On a weekly basis. Do we have everything to do that? So, and then like we showed last time, so our 10-16 pallets are the most popular. There would have been a Kanban card here at 6 or 4, and so that's triggering production, which is out there.
It's funny because I'm stressed a little right now. It's actually not stressed. We've got our workflow down, but we have a distributor for our new Tormach fixture plates, and they ordered 30, 30, and 50 of our 3 sizes. So for 2-3 weeks, I'm just booked solid because I don't have the luxury of knowing, we sell 1 or 2 a day, so I just need to keep that going.
Yeah.
We have one machine too. I'm handicapped by that, but very strange, very different.
Yeah, so when you're dealing with a stocking distributor, yes, you just need to adjust that. But that takes into account, that is a historical sale. You know it's coming in, and so you do need to prep for that. So absolutely.
The other thing too is we bought another machine. So we bought a HAAS VF2 SS, and I have actually spent far longer than I'm still perplexed as to why it's becoming such a hard decision for me, but and I haven't decided yet, but I'm pretty darn certain what I want to do is have a speed change pallet system over vices, and for a bunch of reasons that I want to go into. I think that topic deserves its own video, but it's such a good workflow. There's potential down the road for being more nimble, for being better set up for multiple different jobs. And you can even put a vise on top of that, which at first seemed crazy, and you've got a lot of money in the vertical stack of work holding, but it's fine if it's the right decision. So selfishly, I'm here because I want to learn a little bit more about the thought of spanning 3 of these across a VF2 and having that be that machine's normal operating position.
So we have customers that use our 10-16 pallets with 3 across. So that's 30 by 16. That's the exact window of envelope of it. So they can just take vices on and off. Customers will have bores of varying diameters. So when their probe does that, they know the location and they know the diameter, they know the offset of that vise. So it's all programmed in. So
well, but better than that, I'm going to figure out a way to have, when we probe a feature on the pallet, the diameter or whatever, it's not only going to pull up the offset, but it's going to pull up the program.
There you go.
Yeah. Why are we not doing that?
Of course. Yeah.
Why?
Offsets everything.
Yeah. That way we can have somebody who's more of an operator and less of a machinist sit there and load, just pick up the next one, regardless of what's on it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
You got it. So
we're talking too much.
It's okay. Component wall. These are components. These are not products. When we go to build something from the Kanban cards or a build sheet, we'll pull these to the assembly area. Really quickly. V for vacuum, C for common, P for pallet related stuff. So then our top, about 15 most commonly ordered products go right here next to the shipping bench. That way we're not wasting time with what's the lean, wasted motion. We're not walking everywhere. We're just grabbing, putting, boxing. And then the process on this, weigh, all the stuff, cart,
Yep,
and
so you're
we're out.
cutting core, that's a tape dispenser?
Yeah, it's a tape dispenser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inserts, because your stuff is, I will say it again, is packaged so well.
Yeah, well here,
Stands out.
Here's an order that came in for
Yeah.
a 914 base. So we have these custom corners cut.
Okay.
Die cut, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we just pop them out and then we'll put them in like that.
Yep,
Two
yep.
sets.
So your boxes are right there.
Yeah.
Folks, if you aren't interested in this stuff, I totally understand that you don't watch this video, but let me tell you, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as a machinist, you live this stuff. This is so cool to nerd out on this. Because what is the flow? There's a box. How do I know what box to pick? They're labeled, right?
Right.
So I know you said a 914?
Yep.
So I've never worked here, but I could probably pack one of these pretty quickly.
You know pretty quickly, yeah, 914 starter. If they're just ordering top plates, specific box for that. Yeah.
Yep, and there's a U-line or whoever it is box Kanban for that. Can I pull it out?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, boom, look at that. And then you got the custom tape. We just started doing that. Build a box, put it in here. What goes in the top? Why is it's a deep box?
So most of the time there's a starter package that goes in. Here's a diagram right here of how to do our boxes. So those are all the different foam components.
Got it.
We upgraded to the corners, so those are not shown, but there's a starter package box that goes in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. And then the label comes out. What can I ask? What do you use for that software side of things?
Yeah, we use WorldShip and
that the UPS software.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we use stamps.com for USPS.
But it's automated, like.
It is, but we don't quite trust it yet. There's been some glitches, and it automates, yes, with our 3D cart shopping system, but it's a little funky sometimes. When you're talking multiple boxes, it's not quite right.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's next?
Let's go machine.
This is the first time I've actually seen a VF2 in person since I ordered one, so it's actually a very special moment. I'm actually excited. It's such a different machine.
So this is actually what you were just talking about. Our speed change base, our pallet, our vise, and then the part. So there's not a lot of stack up. It is more. I mean, that's going to add 2 1/4 inches, I believe.
So my gut reaction is it violates all these rules. I've got money invested in something that loses Z height and costs more weight, and you're not gaining rigidity. And it's when I saw a photo on Instagram of somebody else who's done this exact thing, and I thought, I just want to do it because I don't think we're going to use a vise that often. We're moving a lot more to quick fixturing setups, and that's what this machine is going to do a lot of. But I need to be able to put a vise on it, and I don't want to take the Pierson bases off.
Correct.
And so that setup, and you're going to laugh, a lot of the work that we do, I could use a Wilton Camlock vise.
Yeah,
or drill vise, and that would easily mount.
Yep, and you indicate it one time, and you give it its own offset one time. So, I mean, over years or months, however many setups you're doing, you're going to make that money back. Pretty straightforward, so, yeah.
Okay, so that is the main base of the new...
Yeah, this is the Mini Pallet System base, the second operation. We're going to run the first and second op, which is a side op, in our rotary vise. When I got to tell this story, when I went to your open house, came back pretty darn inspired. Great people. They love the pallet system, but it was overkill for what they needed. So I came back, developed this in about 3 weeks, again, sharing common components so we could just go to production on this and get it out. Starter package with this and a pallet connection kit under $1,000. So yeah, we're really excited about it. So
awesome.
One of the things is because of that price point, we got to make it even more efficient than we have made the regular speed change pallet system. So that's why we combine 2 of the operations in the rotary vise.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's check it out.
So again, the point here, which I'm intrigued with, is Tormach owners, or the speed change system equivalent is about $2,000. Right. So, and I get it. I mean, we spent that kind of money on our orange vices, and I'm thinking, I love those, they're great, but I don't do a lot of stuff where I need 10,000 pounds of clamping pressure on a big chunk of 4140. I do a lot of stuff where I need some mighty bites with, frankly, pretty gentle work holding, and I need stuff in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, the pit bull clamps you can get pretty aggressive with. For their size, they're pretty aggressive. And then like the serrated jaws, that's great. Dovetails, you can be really aggressive with. Yeah, so because of the size, 6 inches, the clamp width is 3 inches. We can only do 2, but that's fine.
Well, you got to rewind. This is another relatively new product from you. And it's funny because I think of you, I think of vacuum, and I think of speed
change pallet system.
Thank you. This is awesome though.
Yeah. This has been a hot seller. We knew it would. We prepped. That's why I tested it for almost 2 years, getting it dialed in.
So it's a 4-station indexing vise, or what's the?
Rotary vise, so it has 4 stations, each 3 inches. It opens, like, for example, we're going to run it at full, whatever, 4.5, 5 inches, something like that. And we've pre-machined these almost as if we were dovetailing them with just a flat for clearance and a flat with an integrated work stop. So we're not doing any work stops, so we're just sliding it in.
Again, I won't say mindless, but it's that sort of thing where I don't need to have indicators out, dead blow hammers. I don't need to be worrying about.
Yeah. So with the 2 VF2s sitting next to each other, we can do op 1, which is this. We'll call it an op 0. And then it can immediately feed these. We can put these in, and then it's feeding back for op 3. So when you do it like that. So let me load this really quick. Okay, so I just slid it in right there. Okay, looks good, yep. I felt it, it's dug in. Let me check this other one, because I did not load it.
So this is gonna do 2, so you're using, you use Fusion, right?
Yes.
So it's one cam up that's just rotary pattern.
Yeah.
That's so easy.
Yeah, so we'll bring in the model for this, and then we will model up the stock, model up the part, and then we will just do a component pattern.
Yeah.
In this case, 360 at 2 of them, so.
So that's it.
Yep.
I'm excited to see this.
All right.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rock and roll.
So programs in, MPS space, op 1, rotary, here we go.
That is fast. Do you use Pequel on any of the machines?
We do.
Okay.
2 of them,
Yeah, I got that. So you're not, to me, that doesn't look like you're babying or slowing down, even though it's on a 4th axis with an extended vise.
Correct, yeah.
God, I can't get over that. Twist drill, high-speed twist drill is just peck drilling?
It's a stub length cobalt.
Cobalt, okay.
Yeah.
And again, I think about it now a lot more than I did before. Having through spindle coolant is sexy, it's faster, it definitely increases the machine resale value. But if the money you save from that or other features lets you buy another machine, then who cares about whether I'm doing a drill cycle in 12 seconds instead of 22 seconds?
Yeah, that's true.
A potentially unintended benefit is as it flips it over, it may jump the chips out before
it does.
Yeah, before it interpolates.
Yep.
Whew. Holy cow.
So this is about 1 inch, 800 depth of cut, 1/2 inch tool. It's running at 8,000 RPM and 350 inches a minute.
Are you serious?
Which is conservative for what you're going to see in a minute.
Oh my God. Who makes the tool?
We almost use exclusively helical.
Helical, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an insane cut. I can't believe that's not shattering.
Yeah.
Wow. Held in a collet?
Yep, Yep, ER 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, for finishing we use SK tool holders.
You do?
Yeah.
You found a difference?
Yeah, the run out.
Boy, that's not even an SS, and that's moving.
Yeah. So with the SS, if it were running at 12,000 RPMs, you could, in theory, bump that to maybe 600, 550 feed rate. Yeah, for have the same chip load.
The tool would take it?
I think so. Yeah. Surface speed would be higher.
Yeah, sure.
But the feed per tooth would be the same. Roughly, because
you're only a quarter service fee right now. That's nothing for carbide and aluminum, huh?
I don't think that's accurate though. It's higher than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Same
this
tool?
is yeah, same tool. It's slotting, it's creating some pockets.
You're insane.
So this is run at 200 inches a minute for a ramp down slot.
Yeah, you're insane. Oh my God.
We gotta make it fast. So this is adaptive at 500 inches a minute, 350 deep.
Holy cow.
And then the next one will go about, I want to say like 800 deep.
Well, we'll see in a second. Another tool's going to clean up all this.
Yes.
But that end mill doesn't have a roughing geometry.
No, it's considered, I think it's their middle one. There's, I want to say like 35, 40, and 45. This is the 40.
Okay.
So 40-degree helix.
Wow. Yeah, I know Helico's got a really good speeds and feeds app.
Yeah,
I don't know if
they
you use
do.
that or not.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. So it sounds like a really good cut at 500 inches a minute.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
It's just so counter. Oh, as you're roughing that or ramping that tool out, you're using a tool that's 4 times longer than you need to, but saves you a tool change, saves you a tool holder.
Yeah. Yeah. When I programmed it, I thought I expected a little bit more chatter.
Yeah.
And so I went light on the feeds and speeds, 350. I usually would have done like 400, no problem. But just that long of a tool, that long of a cut. And if I
Looking for time.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So if we go to the load on that, it's only hit 73 on the load top. So
You know what? Is this a 30 horsepower?
30 horsepower, yeah.
Why not run 2 or 3 of these in Y instead of an X on speed change pallets?
Good idea. You're talking rotaries, like putting them.
Not on rotary. Yeah, the part that we're making.
Yeah.
Why not run one this way, one here, one here, one here?
Yeah, you could do that.
With Mighty Bites, low profile.
But you could get the same throughput of op 1, but we're rotating it. You'll see later we're going to do a side hole and things like that. So we can knock out a whole operation with this.
Good.
So,
Totally fair.
Yeah.
It's insane. Okay, so that had a pre-drilled ramp hole.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
it's faster to pre-drill than to like do a helical or spiral entry.
Yep.
And that's taken a deeper cut than the last one. Actually, to me, it sounds better than the lighter cut of 350. That 800 is better. So.
Have you ever used? You go to McMaster and you look for 150-degree carbide drills. The only ones are these parabolics that do a great job in aluminum.
Yeah, I know a lot of colleagues that use that. I like them. Yeah. So this is doing a kind of like a custom counterbore that matches the shape of our pins. So we're not putting. We have a round and a diamond pin. We want those in the right side. So you'll see that in a minute.
Okay.
And we're also interpolating that hole that we drilled so that our reamer can follow it. It can be centered.
It's a good little trick, folks. If you ever are doing a reamed hole, is give yourself a 50 thou or 100 thou blown out diameter to start in a pin when you go to press it. That way you're not fighting it from the surface. Usually it won't affect overall functionality of the pressed pin.
Yeah, yeah. All drills will walk.
Yeah.
And then there's run out and drills. So by interpolating that, it gives it a perfect starting place for the reamer. And then with a really, I think it's a 1/16 diameter, we go in and kick out the corners.
What is it?
Well, in the corners of the diamond pin, we just need to carve out the little corners. It's like finishing.
Got it.
It's a, what is that term?
Press machine?
It's rest machining, yeah.
Okay.
So really quick, small detail.
And so on an average, we're here on a Tuesday at about lunchtime. I mean, are you out here on the machines or are those your teammates?
Yeah, my team will do that. We'll just look at, I will program it or I'll send John to program it. We'll get it in rough state. After we've proven it, then we can bump up feeds and speeds, things like that. So I spend most of my time doing the sales and marketing, talking to customers.
Yeah.
That's more valuable. So
It's just tough because I love making parts. I love running the machines. I still do it by choice, but at the end of the day, I sometimes need to tell myself I'm better off
Exactly.
getting this set up so that other people can run with this.
Yeah, that's kind of the curse of being like the generalist in the company, is you know how to do everything and you like doing everything, you know? But it really works best when you're a specialist. Like all of the team majors, what we do are we major and minor in things. So John will major in setups, minor in operation, or minor in shipping.
Yep.
Jerry majors in shipping, minors in customer service. I major in customer service. All those things.
Interesting.
So it's given them those roles and just those roles. We don't want to be overwhelmed. We want to be really good at just a few things. So,
if you folks are looking to learn more about this, I'll recommend a book. I'll be curious to see if Jay endorses this or doesn't know about it. But the E-Myth Revisited, and they talk about breaking down manager, owner, I forget what it is, entrepreneur, manager, and technician. Talks about how not major and minors, they don't use those words, but this idea of how many things should you be considered even responsible for before it becomes a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I downloaded the book on Audible. Got one more book to finish,
cool.
And I'm on to that one. So this rotary unit is the HAAS HRC 210. It's a roller cam version, a lot higher feeds, a little bit more durable in my opinion. It uses a 40 amp servo drive rather than the 30, so it ships with one. We have a 160, and the standard 210 usually is just a 30 amp servo and is a little bit slower. Well, considerably slower, about 5 times slower. So.
Yeah, I can't believe how quick it whips around.
Yeah. More powerful brake too. So,
okay. Yeah. And you could, I mean, obviously we're doing positional work here. You could do simultaneous fourth?
You could, absolutely. Yeah.
Drilling. No probe.
No probe.
No probe, yeah. I was thinking about that. I needed a probe for some of the job shop work, but when I think about a potential pallet system setup, I realize I don't need a probe. I'm modeling everything off of G53 and where the home position is.
Correct.
You just don't need it.
Yeah.
Another long end. Oh, this is a finish end?
Yeah,
now?
this is the finisher, yeah.
Same tool?
It's the same tool, yeah, just newer.
So this will become the rougher?
Yeah, it'll get retired to a rougher, yeah.
Using all 8,000 RPMs.
Yep,
Sounds
8,000. We run at 65 inches a minute just to get a nice surface finish on it. So it's finishing the bottom of that bore.
Okay.
This is kind of like the cylinder. And it'll repeat the finishing step. Finishing the bottom of what are called rails, the hardened stainless rails go in there.
So it's a center, we'll see one later I'm sure, it's a center ball lock combined with those two rails that are what make it work.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, what's interesting to me about this for our Tormach is not so much a need for different work holding for our Tormach, but rather if I can figure out a way to potentially automate these or have them run better unattended, it's going to change our Tormachs from sort of, I don't know what the word is, reactionary machines. You know, when I need something done, I set it up versus machines. There's a ton of idle time on our Tormachs, and that's okay. But there's parts that we could be making for them. And again, it's this idea, if you've got pre-set up pallets and fixtures, you just go. Drilling and tapping for the ring.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I didn't even realize we had some off the machine here. Okay, so yeah, we're drilling and tapping those holes right there. Interesting. I didn't notice that. That's a...
Yeah, so that's going to be, when it went and drilled these, it went back in and drilled that deep. That's going to create the side air passage.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's how we get
it.
It
intersects there.
Correct.
Is that a 4th axis hole though?
No. So we drilled in and the two holes intersected in that. Correct.
Oh, and there's the diamond pin you were talking about. Cool.
Yeah, that fits the shape of the pins.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to eliminate any type of human error by putting the pins in the wrong spot.
But look at that finish, folks. I mean, that's a great finish.
Yeah, and these were setup pieces when we were trying to get them dialed in, so it should come off better. Yeah. So this is chamfering all the surfaces. We don't want to do any handwork. We just need them to come off finished.
Yep.
So slight edge breaks on all the holes.
Yep. 6 flute?
This one is a 4 flute, I believe. Maybe 6 flute, I don't know.
I've been trying to figure out how fast I can chamfer, but you know, take pride in the work. You're not trying to cut corners, you're just trying to save some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you program your auger to turn on, or do you just handle that manually?
Manually, but we forget a lot of times to do that. Yeah.
Something I need to learn to do is how to have that taken care of.
Yeah.
Time intervals or something.
Right. Yeah. So you can do it like maybe in the post processor at tool 1 or machine, you know, startup.
Yep. Rigid tapping. I just learned a trick. If you're not peck tapping, you can turn off a variable that does the spindle orientation alignment.
Yes.
Which saves you time.
Repeat rigid tap.
Yep.
That's a setting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also retract at a faster override.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
We do sometimes on this. We're so far into the program, we're just going to keep it at 1.
Yep.
Sometimes we've had issues. We can't identify that that was the problem, but we know that 1 to 1 is always fine. And it's such a short depth anyways, it's not saving us that much time.
Right. So I've got 250 holes in a fixture
that would be a
plate,
good reason to
and
use
it saves time.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing is it turns on the spindle also when it goes to tap a G84. The post processor does. You can leave the spindle off. Just give it the RPM, and then the G84 will
That's funny.
do it.
So okay, so coming in with a reamer. Do you use a different cycle? G80?
It is a G85.
Is that a reaming cycle?
4 in, yeah.
Well, do you know what that does?
Same feed and speed in and out.
In and out, got it.
And I think if I might be wrong, but you can also specify a dwell at the bottom. We just never have done that. So. Okay, so this is a corner rounding end mill.
Really?
Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that and put that radius along the outside edge. Make it look nice.
Oh yeah, that does look great. You know, I've been meaning to play with those.
Yeah.
We've had some people ask, you don't have a trouble?
Well, yeah, like so this setup part, there was a little step in different areas.
Oh, that's great there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But once it's dialed in, it's just like seamless.
Is that anything special about sourcing that tool?
No, I want to say it's an internal tool brand.
Okay.
Just the local supplier does.
Yeah.
Double-sided, uncoated. That's always nice. Kind of a 2-for-1 deal.
Sure. And so how do you do your tool heights again, since you don't have a pro?
Yeah, so all the tool heights that we do, we program off the center line of the rotary table itself. So with gauge blocks, we'll get some type of height all touched off, and then we know from the top of the gauge block to the center line of the rotary indexer, then we'll just put that in. So if you look at how deep things are going in like Z, it makes no sense because it's some arbitrary positive number.
Finish pass.
Yeah, finish pass. I played around trying to get a decorative type of look instead of like the standard, you know, back and forth. So it's doing an adaptive, which output a spiral.
Sure.
And so I had to model up a sketch.
Yep.
So it followed that because there was nothing that would put a nice spiral finish.
You could do a trace tool path.
Yeah, you could do a trace. Yeah. Yeah, if you drew a spiral. Yeah. Sure. It's a good idea.
Use the golden ratio.
There you go.
Did a video on that, and you walk out.
I like that.
Expanding manner.
Fibonacci.
Yeah, that does look cool.
Yeah.
I love those little touches.
Yeah. So this for finish, it's only there's only 3 thou of material left on it. We're cutting at 6,000 RPM and 100 inches a minute, which is kind of like, for our Kennametal tooling, that's kind of like the mid-range starting point. So we're just going to stay with that. It works. So what I'll do is I'll do an option stop before it does the next, which will be op 2.
Yep.
Clean off the glass so we can see it looking really good.
It's interesting too, the VF2 mounts the control electronics on the back of the column, whereas the VM3 is big enough, it's actually mounted kind of right here. So it's, again, fun to see it and start thinking about how it's going to work when it gets to the shop.
Okay, so we've fully completed op 1 if we were to do this in just a vise. So this is where we get the productivity gains, doing 2 parts, op 1 and op 2. So here we go.
Oh, opening. What do you? Oh, the plate.
Yeah, this is where the sticker goes. Yeah.
What was that drill for right there? Did I miss that? The long one?
No, it's coming up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So what this is doing is it's doing a, I want to say it's an adaptive with a tapered helical entry.
Yep.
So we get that. The next one is going to be an 1/8 inch NPT tap.
Yep. So you're opening it up for, instead of having to do a reamer, for the reamer, tapered reamer there.
Exactly, yeah.
Sure.
And it's also at the bottom, it's putting a flat bottom because we're going to come in with a longer drill that can't meet up. It's off center. So we need a flat bottom for that drill to drill straight.
That's a great tip, folks, for running pipe taps in Fusion is if you've got a 3D model taper, you can use a 3D adaptive toolpath. It's going to leave some stair steps, but the tap can power through that.
It'll clear it out.
Yep. Awesome.
And it looks like it's doing a little rest machining after that last part and finishing the pocket. So.
What are your thoughts on go, no-go gauges versus just using the product that's going to be installed in it, if you control that?
Yeah.
Like I see you've got a go, no-go here. Sure. I just started looking at these. These things ain't cheap.
No, they're not.
And it's not that I'm trying to save money, but I'm thinking, wait a minute here, if I'm installing it,
or
I'm controlling the source of this installation product, why worry about this?
It's true. So this is important because these are hard anodized, so we want to make sure it's, the plating will build up the threads a lot.
Yep.
Up to maybe 1 thou per side of the thread, like 1, 2, 3, 4 thou. So there's some formula there. What if a supplier doesn't have the right fittings that goes into it, and now another supplier sells it with slightly bigger diameter?
Got it.
Or one supplier doesn't sell it with, pipe tape on it. So we just standardize with the thread gauges, and then we, quite frankly, we won't use that supplier if they're giving us different fittings. So.
And this, the way this works is you've got a min and a max of the cutout. Watch this drill.
Oh, it's okay. It's going to, it's just going to chamfer everything it's done to give the NPT tap a lead or a chamfer.
Yep.
So here's a long drill.
Cool. Oh, you're not even doing a full retract?
No, well, this is a G83. It is, we usually use a G73, high speed tapping, which will peck, clear, peck, clear. This, because it's a long drill, we're just doing a standard G83 of a full retract. A full retract up to the top of the hole that's down.
So that's why it looks like it's not coming to the top.
Correct, yeah.
Sure. You know, when I read about that, you don't always want to have a full retract above your workpiece surface because it can allow chips to fall back in.
Correct, yeah.
The devil is in the details. I love it though.
And we've all learned the hard way.
Now, how do you know when to replace that drill?
I don't know, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something will break.
So yeah, we've had this one for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And you sharpen it?
No.
Oh, good grief.
No, just standard feeds and speeds. So now what I did is I did in Fusion, I did a pass-through and I typed in a few things. One is a comment, clear chips before tap. And then the other was a pass-through of an M8 so that when I press cycle start, it's going to turn on the coolant again. You won't see it come on because it's going to do a tool change, but HAAS turns it off in the control before it does the tool change. It'll be back on. Okay. Because once you do like an M0, it cancels the coolant, so essentially. Or at least that's what we found in this control. So I'm just going to go check. Tool looks clear.
Yeah, the great guy, I just got to point out, I mean, awesome surface finish. Really, holy cow, really good. Feels great, and look at the mirror on that. That's a Kennametal tool?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like a positive rake. It's actually a negative rake tool. That's interesting.
It does a great job.
I'm impressed.
So one trick that we do, that hole that we bored through, now we can just blow in there, and any chips that are accumulated just comes right out. We don't get that luxury on that side, but one little trick of running these parts.
I saw a good trick at, go ahead.
Okay.
I saw a good trick this morning at SH Machine where, and they're running, you know, pretty crazy 5-axis type machines. But, and they just have this dedicated tool. I mean, they have machines that have,
Looks good. Another check.
you know, 240 holders, so they can afford the luxury.
Sure.
And they just put a copper tube in an ER collet with through spindle coolant, and they have to go into certain products and manifolds that they manufacture and flush chips out.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. And there it is.
Boom.
Take a look. Oops.
Awesome. So that's the debate. Maybe you could get one more, maybe two. I don't know. This is a 30-inch travel. That's 6 inches. It'd be tight.
Yeah.
With work holding, it'd be real tight. But you'd have to then do a whole second off on each one of them there.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. That second off. That's where we get, you know, eliminating an operation. If we can stop handling it, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So at this point, we would take both of these off. Now when you have two machines that are running simultaneous, I've found that you want to tend the slower or longer cycle time first.
Sure.
So what we'll do is we'll take these off, put them on a cart, load the next two, it can run. This cycle time was 27 minutes.
Yep.
So you have 2 parts, 2 operations, 27 minutes. So then we would go immediately to the adjacent VF2.
Which you're going to see in part 2. So card to that video here. That was off one though. Jay, thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for coming, John.